Hey, Divine Ones, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's all start by taking a big, deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's place one hand on the heart. Let's place the right hand on the heart. Place the left hand on our creative space, our lower abdomen, and take some big, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 222 as I am recording this right now. This past 2 months, I've been in a deepening. The seed in the soil, surrounded by nurturance, warmth, unknown. And as I've moved through it, I've learned so much. Today, I want to talk to you about surrender, deep, deep surrender, letting go, and stepping in to your divine creative abilities. Big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. You know, I use this metaphor a lot, but I want to remind you of the transformation of the butterfly for a moment. You know, we see a lot of those memes and a lot of those things about it turning into a butterfly, but we don't really take for granted the real true journey, which is like, you know, the caterpillar essentially eats himself into a space of being able to produce what he needs to surround himself with a cocoon. But in this cocoon, as it gets tighter and tighter, it's not comfortable in there. Literally, the entire essence of the caterpillar consumes itself. These chemical compounds work together to dissolve the entirety of the structure that was there before to be able to create and form the wings of the butterfly. It's brand new. But in order to get there, this dissolving, he doesn't resist the dissolving. He doesn't fight the dissolving or try to break free. He simply dissolves, knowing of whatever comes next. This last 2 months, there's been so many moments. All Source has been telling me is, Nikayla, you need to you need to rest. You need to let the things that no longer serve you fall away from your life. And there's been so many times when I wanted to cling. My ego's been like, no, I'm not saying goodbye to this person. I'm not releasing this. How do I do this? This is going to happen, but how? You know, and trying to control all the things. My higher self just constantly keeps reminding me, breathe. You're taken care of. And then my ego comes back and there's all the responsibility, right? Raising 2 children on my own, building businesses, supporting others, all the things in your life that you have to do too. When we are called to surrender, we are also called to trust that we will be held and that we will be okay. And it's through that dissolving into goo, our bones literally dissolving as we create anew. It's in that space that the transformation happens. We have to be willing to let go of all the old parts of ourselves to create space from the new. We have to be willing to say goodbye and make the room for all of the other things. 2 different frequencies can't be together in harmony. And so if you have expanded and grown and your frequency is rising and rising and you're still surrounded by lower frequency people, and it doesn't mean you have to stop loving them. It doesn't mean that you don't like them. It just means that sometimes we have to say goodbye and create space in order to surround ourselves with the frequency at which we are at so that we can continue to grow. It's uncomfortable, yes. And that's part of the trust process. Can you tune in and listen to the things that are no longer serving you? Can you tune in to the consciousness, the oneness of the universe, sinking into all that you desire, feeling it in your bones and trusting that it is already before you? We try to create all of these beautiful, wondrous things. And then when we don't see them or perceive them the way that we dreamed them, we throw a little tantrum and we start to think all the worst thoughts or tune back into that behavior of control. And then we cycle backwards instead of tuning into, I'm always held and always supported. So even with this in front of me, if I can trust that no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how risky, no matter how crazy and out of the box it may seem, if that is the direction my soul is leading me, can I trust? Can I let go of those old, seemingly ways of safety? Yesterday at my son's birthday party, I had this beautiful plan mapped out. Okay. And let me just tell you, like, when you have been in a place as a single mom, which is where I was 10 years ago, where you cannot like do the things and create the things that you want to for your kids, like it just became really important to me as I grew my empire to be able to support my kids the way that I wanted. You know, I don't believe they need to suffer to learn. I believe that they can learn through love and pleasure and abundance. And yesterday, I just wanted my son's birthday to be perfect. We started off the morning, I was having a puppy delivered. He knew he was getting a puppy, but he thought he couldn't get it till the middle of October. But I surprised him to have the puppy delivered on his birthday. And so the puppy was supposed to get there originally around 9. The guy ended up not being able to come until noon. My grandpa wanted to surprise him with a tea time. And so he was going to be picked up by my grandpa the same time the dog got there. And then the driver got caught in the rain. So it was going to be even later. And I had psyched myself up for him receiving this puppy so bad that I kept going into these doubts of, you know, is he still going to be surprised? Is he going to have fun golfing? Like all of these different questions going through my head. We enjoyed the beautiful breakfast together. We hung out, we played games, we watched some Game of Thrones. My grandpa came and picked him up and they went golfing. I made him a beautiful cake and enjoyed my time. But as it got closer for the puppy to arrive, and then once the puppy did arrive, I started to get so excited. I was in such gratitude with the puppy that I just started crying at being able to provide this for my son, this experience for my son. And I was in such gratitude and I was longing for him. I just wanted him to be there to enjoy this moment. And my ego started to kick in. I started to constantly wonder like what hole they were on and when they were going to be home. And my parents had driven out and they haven't been to my house very often. And instead of being totally present with them, I kept checking in to see like maybe how long he would be and when he would get back. So I really just wanted to surprise him with this puppy. And as he settled, he cried when he saw it. He had this beautiful experience. We had a wonderful evening. It all worked out and it was so divine. And even though I kept reminding myself throughout the day, it's all divine, you're okay, let go. And I was aware of my need for control in those moments. Even though I had all of that awareness, I still kept slipping back into that desire for him to be there, the attachment for the way I wanted it to be. And as I prayed and meditated, every night I kind of review the ways I showed up and the ways I checked in with myself, the ways I may have stepped out of my integrity. And that was one of those moments for me. I've really been working on, leading from the heart space. And I looked at it, and not to shame myself, I just looked at in that moment, remembering like I could have had a higher quality time with my parents and it all worked out anyways. But instead I spent a lot of the time when they were there in need of that control. And so I just reminded myself, like, use this as evidence, Nikayla, that it all works out, that it's all divine, that it's all timely. And I went to bed and woke up this morning and have been consciously choosing to be present and surrendered. But it's in those little moments, and a lot of times in those big ones too, right, that our ego takes hold and it pulls us away from the power of the present moment. And that is truly where every piece of power lies, is in the present moment. When we're trying to control, we're coming from fear from past experiences or anxiety from a future that we want, instead of trusting, if I can be in my power in the present moment. And in the present moment, I'm following my bliss. I'm following my happiness. I'm feeling held and nurtured, no matter what my circumstances look like. If I can trust and lean into that, I am always supported. The universe is moving for me. I know what I want. I know how it feels to get it. I know it's available to me. And I am walking and breathing and living in a state of trust and grace. Big deep breath. I trust that I am always divinely supported. I trust that I am held. And in this moment, my needs are being met and the universe is conspiring for me. I surrender. I know what I want. I know who I am. As I be in alignment with me, everything inside my mind will become a reality. So be it. Big deep breath. Surrender isn't comfortable. Surrender requires us to stretch. Surrender requires us to expand, to dissolve all of the old parts of ourselves and ride the wave of the new. And it's so worth it. It's why we're here, to be alive. It's why we're here, to feel alive. We have one existence in this vessel, one opportunity to see through these eyes, to hear through these ears, to speak through this voice. Big deep breath. Can we rise to that calling in love rather than fear, in presence rather than the past? Can we be with the oneness of ourselves, our godliness, our universal consciousness? Big deep breath, in the knowing that we are held and loved in all that we do. As you breathe deep today into the present moment, into the power of the present moment, into surrender, remember you are always held. And for those of you who aren't in my Quantum Creation Facebook group, I ask and invite you to join us. We do really beautiful full moon ceremonies and a whole lot of meditations. You get full access and instant access to any channeled teachings that I do. And you get my 30-day money manifestation accelerator program. So if you haven't joined, click the link below to do so. Stay up to date on my mailing list with my weekly newsletter by going to nikaylamariah.com and putting in your info. I'm so grateful you joined me here today as we learned more about surrender and stepping into what we truly want and desire. I'll talk to you soon. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles.